This Steve Jones Show podcast is now loading. The Steve Jones Show podcast is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, and Brewers Outlet. Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Sunbury Motor Company, Purdy Insurance, and Brewers Outlet. Now from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Half hour brought to you by Purdy Insurance, Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com. Auto, home, light, business, boat, motorcycle, RV, Medicare products. Steve Engel's the guy to talk to about that, especially with the open enrollment period coming up. And they make sure that you're fully insured, save you money. Customer service means everything to them at Purdy Insurance, Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com. So one quick note, we're going to get to Missi Matthews in 1 second. You brought up, Todd, the pond with Connor Stallions. They said that that he had a recorded phone call with a student athlete, that his personal phone was shattered into 1,000 pieces, and he threw it into a pond. Hard drive, same story, put into a pond. It's like, what are we doing here? Oh, we're just going to find him. Okay, good. Missi Matthews joins us. She doesn't have these issues. Missi, welcome to the show. It's great to hear you again.
It's great to be with you, too. Yeah, I kind of laughed as I was watching that all unfold today as well.
It just is, as somebody who, because Penn State had to play Michigan in the middle of this, but that's a different story, different time. Aaron Rodgers is, of course, there. It is one thing for all of us to see Aaron Rodgers make an appearance, for example, with Pat McAfee and so forth. It's another thing to see him interact with his teammates. When you've seen him interact with his teammates, what kind of mutual respect do you see?
I mean, I will say I'm blown away just how much people gravitate towards him. And he's kind of joked, but has seriously said several times that, you know, he's a 4-time MVP. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been in this league for a while. And he almost had to break the ice with people because some of the players, especially the younger players who grew up literally watching him when he was with Green Bay, almost were like scared to approach him. You know, like it was just that weird, I don't know, should I go introduce myself? And he will talk to anybody. You know, they've talked about him sitting down with, you know, guys that probably aren't going to make the squad, who will be at the bottom of the 90, who might be practice squad players, having lunch with them, getting to know something about them. Where are they from? Where did they go to college? Just different things like that. And even his interactions with staff. When we had a chance to do a sit-down with him at training camp, player schedules are super busy. I mean, it is very jam-packed. Was super thoughtful in his answers. You know, wasn't just going through the motions. He's had a media scrum once, at least, every week. It's not like the media is bothering our PR staff saying, hey, guys, like, when's QB1 going to talk? He just gets it. And I truly think when you hear Mike Tomlin talk about how he wanted to know Aaron Rodgers, why? Why do you want to play again? Why do you want to keep chasing a Lombardi again? And he was comfortable with it enough that clearly they waited for him to officially decide and sign. You get why, because he does have that love for football and just wanting to be one of the guys and wanting to play. And it is very infectious to his teammates. The interactions are funny because he's kind of a smart aleck. And then they're also very, you know, hey, here's how we're running that route. Here's where I expect you to be. There's been some like, oh, no moments where, you know, some of the skill players haven't turned around fast enough and all of a sudden the ball's hitting them in the helmet. So there's some growing pains, of course. It's new for everybody, but he's just funny. And he definitely knows how to push buttons on each of the guys on offense and defense, really.
What do you think the addition of Jonnu Smith can mean? I mean, Pat Fryermuth's already there, but Jonnu, he's done well with Arthur Smith at several other stops. What can he mean to the offense and Aaron?
I think it's another Pat, obviously an older Pat, but we saw what Pat did. I almost said his rookie year with Ben Roethlisberger, and we saw what he meant to the carousel of other quarterbacks that he played with during his time here in Pittsburgh, and kind of that safety blanket. I think it's almost what you have in DK Metcalf, and that guy just continues to impress when you watch him work in person. You knew what he was coming in, but I think when you get to physically lay your eyes on him, he's still impressive and kind of like, holy crap, he's on our team now. But I think maybe Jonnu's kind of, another Pat in the sense of there's not a clear-cut number two. Calvin Austin III hasn't been practicing due to injury. Roman Wilson, Michigan, speaking of, he's been getting more reps and whatnot with the first team due to that injury. But Jonnu was maybe, kind of like, hey, Pat was kind of wide receiver number 2 last year. So it's adding some depth there. And, I don't know. There are just so many new pieces that it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out.
Give me a couple players, if it's possible, that maybe are creating some buzz in camp that you look around and go, you know what, they're going to be a better team because of him.
I know Jalen Ramsey is an obvious one, but I mean, it's crazy just how athletic and locked in this guy is. He's not just hanging his hat on what he's been able to do before. He is bringing the work. He is instigating competition. He's doing all the right things as well. He is a more quiet person. I will say we have not heard from him a ton. And I was, anxiously awaiting for the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark and his crew to drop because they got him to sit down and ask him a lot of the questions that we all have wanted to know. But I also think in terms of the defense, Peyton Wilson is somebody who, going into his year 2, he's really made that jump. And they talk about it all the time. Year 1 to year 2, you have your bearings, you know more what to do, you have an actual off season. Peyton Wilson's playing fast and free. He's getting a chance to be the green dot in game for the preseason because Patrick Queen's not playing. Right. And I think he's just continuing to impress.
The offensive line, they were hindered last year by a couple of key guys not being out, including the first-round pick who played 1 game. What has it meant to Aaron in this offense that this group has been, for the most part, intact in the preseason and has a chance to be really good?
I think it's huge. I grew up covering the Steelers in the glory days of the Marquise Pounceys and Dave DeCastros, Al Villanuevas, where you never questioned what you had in your offensive line. And clearly that has not that's expensive to do, but it's also not possible all the time. And I think they are getting this very young group of guys. They've clearly invested, as you said, in Troy Fautanu last year, Broderick Jones the year before. Especially those 2 guys, because they are the tackles. And I think trending in the right direction, it's almost like for Broderick, it's playing a different side. For Troy, it's getting back into playing actual football. And I thought they did pretty well in the first game, the first preseason game in Jacksonville. And for Zach Frazier and Mason McCormick in the middle, obviously Isaac Seumalo hasn't been playing. They're saving that veteran guy. It's those 2 making that year 2 jump, just like their draft mate, Peyton Wilson. I think they got thrown into the fire earlier than maybe they wanted them to last year, but it kind of worked to their favor. And those 2 are like, the fantastic duo. They're never separated. So they're always together, even off the field. So I think it's kind of, let's get them to grow together and make it go quickly and protect our 41-year-old quarterback.
I don't think he wanted to hear the last part of that sentence. I think he still thinks he's 31. The running back spot, Najee's not there. He's with the Chargers now, and helping Jim Harbaugh to live out his best post-Michigan life. And I had to take a shot. But they've got Warren Gainwell, who comes over from Philadelphia, and then Caleb Johnson, the rookie out of Iowa. What do you think of the dynamic, Missy, there as to how you have observed it?
I mean, it's very different because we were just so used to the consistency and the health that Najee Harris brought to that position since they drafted him in 2021 in the first round. Yep. It is a little weird that he's not there because Najee is very vocal. He's a talker. Jaylen Warren is the exact opposite. But in terms of what they're doing on the field, it is an interesting group. But I think Jaylen has earned the right, an undrafted guy who literally, fought tooth and nail to make the roster his first year and has just continued to do all the right things. He's so good in pass protection, and that's something that rookie Caleb Johnson needs to work on and has vocalized he needs to work on. So I think it's getting him more and more reps throughout the preseason. Coach Tomlin said after the first game he really wants Caleb to trust himself, to play free. And that's hopefully something that we'll see tomorrow night when they play the Bucs at home. And I think, with Gainwell, he's just a change of back. It's just so different than what that room has kind of looked like. We've seen several ways that they've been utilizing him in Arthur Smith's offense year two, with different pieces, of course, but just his skill set. So it's very interesting. We still don't know the full look of both sides of the ball because of, they're clearly not playing a lot of those guys in the preseason. And you're only going to show so much as you're starting to install your systems at training camp where everybody has a phone and can take pictures and videos. So I think, we're back into the point where media and everybody can watch practice, but you can't videotape everything. And when there's not, fans, you can start to show more. So I think that's why it made sense yesterday. They did their joint practice with the Bucs, get Aaron Rodgers, TJ Watt, all those guys who are not playing tomorrow night in a controlled environment, some reps against a different team. And it seemed to, be both sides were happy with it. And then it's a chance tomorrow for the young guys to continue to try to add to their resume tape.
I want to ask you just quickly about that. I'll make it the last question because I know you're busy. But what value do you take out of a joint practice, and what value do you take out of, Missy, with your experience of preseason games?
I think it has changed a lot, but I think from joint practices, because the Steelers, historically haven't done a ton. Like, I remember when the Bills came to Latrobe, in 13 or 14, and then there was kind of a lull. But I think with one less preseason game, it does make sense, and I think it's a chance for guys to go against different types of players than what they're seeing on their own team, if that makes sense, or even a different style offense. Because, practice is that fine line of you want to get your side of the ball in line, but you also are going against a team that you know well. So I think it's a little different. It's not as, I don't want to say dangerous, but there's probably less chance of risk in a joint practice than putting people out in a game. So I do think there is a benefit, but I do agree. Coach Tomlin was asked about it yesterday. You have to have the right dance partner. So I think you have to be on the same page with the opposing coach and the mentality of how things are going to work. And they have veteran players on their team as well. There weren't any fights. I feel like every time you turn on NFL Network during training camp, they're, looking live at a joint practice and all of a sudden a fist fight breaks out. That's not what you want. So I do see that benefit. And I think, the preseason has become more of a young guys game in terms of getting a chance to play more. Jacksonville last week played their ones on both sides for a little bit to start the game. The Steelers did the opposite, but what a great challenge for the Caleb Johnsons of the world and people like that. So it really just depends, I think, on how each person, each coach approaches it.
Jacksonville needed to play all their guys. All right, so just a quick. This is just a joke, so I'm not going to be. But scouts show up at the Penn State practice. So I saw the Jacksonville scout. I looked over at one of the team doctors. I said, he's got a list here. We use that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. So, okay. All right, Missy, you do great work. We appreciate it very much, and thank you so much for being with us.
You got it. Thanks for having me, Steve. I appreciate it.
Missi Matthews from the Steelers Network. Great to have her on the show today. Yeah. By the way, remember how coy they were about whether he was on the sideline for the Central Michigan State game? Remember that part?
Yes.
He admitted to the NCAA, he says, yeah, that was me. And guess what? Central Michigan has an issue with, like there. I guess there's a coach there that has, or a staff or somebody. So
I was going to say, I thought I read somewhere that they were getting in trouble for that too.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So there you are. Again, the part about the postseason ban, I don't understand why we can sit here and we come up with solutions and like they act like, well, we can't do that. Like, I don't get that. Okay, you don't want to affect the current team? Fine. Okay, I won't affect the current team. You can go to the postseason this year. But the 2 years after that, okay, no postseason play. Now, all of you, beginning December 1, whatever the date happens to be, okay, you can put your names in the transfer portal and you can go someplace that's going to go to the postseason. What's so hard about that? Am I missing something here? I don't understand what's so difficult about that. If you think what they did rose to the level of a postseason ban, which they freely admit in the report when you read it, it's right there, okay? Then fine. Let them go to the postseason this year so you're not affecting them, and then all of them have the option as to whether they want to go through a postseason ban or transfer someplace else. Because they can play right away. What? Am I missing something here?
I did also see, to your point yesterday about them getting out over their skis with Penn State in 2011, that two of the other national reporters said the same thing you did. That's why it is so soft.
Right, exactly. They knew they were way out of bounds. First of all, on an NCAA point of view, NCAA, point out to everybody here at Penn State exactly which rule did they break. I'm just talking about NCAA enforcement. Which rule did they break? It's a retired employee. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. But that's because they didn't break any rules. They came in here and investigated, you know. I mean, they investigated and they found nothing. Because there was nothing. In terms of the NCAA investigating, they found nothing.
And the NCAA also said that this is worse. I mean, I feel like they're more upset about being lied to than they are about the violations.
That's always been the case with the NCAA.
Wow.
Bruce Pearl got a show cause on the Aaron Kraft recruitment. I think they felt that he lied to them, and that was the big reason why that they gave him a show cause. About Kraft being there for the barbecue or something like that. I can't remember now what all the circumstances were because it was at Tennessee at the time. And it's the same thing with this. When it comes to the cheeseburger part, you talk about like he already has one show cause to begin with. So his next show cause runs out in 2038, Harbaugh. Because the reason on the first one was that they felt he lied to them. Okay. Well, for a period of time in all of this, Stallions was very difficult to pin down on it. And Moore lied to them. Well, I don't have them because of storage issues. Storage issues? Really? Then he finally admitted later, okay, they kept hammering him. I mean, storage issues. What are you talking about? All right. He kept denying, and finally he said, okay, the hell with it. Yeah. I may have deleted them. Okay.
Somebody pointed out earlier this morning that it's another example of it being a different time when the Tattoo-gate thing went down and Jim Tressel signed with the Colts and went to the Colts. The Colts suspended him for 6 games for lying to the NCAA. You think the Chargers are going to sit down old Jimbo?
Nope. and the same thing with Terrell Pryor, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Pryor was suspended by the NFL. They took the same suspension, and you look back on that, how absurd is that now?
Oh, right? Yeah.
Right? I mean, the whole thing, the part with Tressel that was a problem was that they felt he lied to the FBI and they felt he lied to the NCAA or something like it. Okay? And, I mean, that's... and there's another part where Stallions is, and they refer to as player one, so they don't identify the player, and I completely understand that. But evidently told the player, essentially stick to the facts, okay, because that'll be your truth. I'm sorry, stick to the story because that will be your truth. That was it, not facts. Stick to the story. They say when it comes to compliance, Jim Harbaugh had no regards for them.
I think that's pretty obvious.
Within 30 minutes of the news breaking in October 2023, okay, the NCAA uncovered previously unknown recruiting violations committed by former assistant Steve Clinkscale and Denard Robinson. The phrase failure to cooperate appears 25 times in the 74-page report of its 2-year investigation. They say, quote, as a general matter, head coaches are responsible for the culture and conduct of their program. A key component of the culture is compliance, which is shared responsibility. Harbaugh did not embrace that responsibility. Harbaugh and his program had a contentious relationship with Michigan's compliance office, leading coaches and staff members to act at times with disregard for the rules. Compliance efforts were a one-way street. For the scouting violations that occurred during 21 and 22, Harbaugh failed to demonstrate that he had adequately promoted compliance and monitored the program. Harbaugh also automatically responsible for scouting and recruiting violations that occurred after January 1, 2023, a Level 1 violation. But again, if you were to ask fans across the country, right? Doesn't matter. Is it worth it to you if they pay a $20 to $35 million fine when it's all said and done to win the national championship that you will not be stripped of? Is it worth it? And the answer, Todd Hummel, is
yes.
There isn't a single Michigan person today that is contrite over this. They're like, yeah, so what? And they're right. There's a lot of so what in here.
Nothing. Nada. Zilch. That's what you'll pay this summer to drive a brand new Kia from Sunbury Motors Kia.
Wanna see you in a Kia. Sunbury Motors Kia.
That's right. Get 0
APR financing for 48 months on 2025 Kia Sportages, Kia's most popular model. Plus, get 0.9% APR financing for 48 months on 2025 all-wheel drive Kia Sportage hybrids. They get up to 38 mpg. SMC also has 1.9% APR financing for 48 months on the all-wheel drive, brand new, refresh-styled 2026 Kia Sportage LX, starting at just over $32,000. Remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Nothing, nada, zilch, with as low as 0% APR financing at Sunbury Motors Kia on the Strip at Hummel's Wharf and at sunburymotorskia.com.
Party time, game time, or just fun time. Doesn't matter what time it is because it's Brewers Outlet time. The Beverage Supermarket has the area's largest beer selection. Imports, microbrews, ciders, and domestics. Pick from over 100 ice-cold 12-packs and dozens of 24-ounce singles. Soda, snacks, hot sauces, fresh roasted peanuts. Make it one-stop party shopping, and don't forget the pickle bar. So whatever you're celebrating or just doing it up, Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street, Sunbury wants to see you. And thank you for your years of patronage.
Bringing you an in-depth look at Penn State sports and more. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. The Steve Jones Show is presented by Brewers Outlet, Sunbury Motor Company, and Purdy Insurance. Now, from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
That hour brought to you by Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the Beverage Supermarket. Imports, domestics, microbrews, the best selection of beer anywhere. Wine coolers, water, soft drink, snacks. They roast their peanuts fresh and out every day. 6 great flavors of slushies. Ready-to-drink cocktails, High Noon, Jack Daniel's Crown Royal. And the pickle bar, led by the Barrels and the Dills, indeed second to none. You can now stock up for the weekend. All at Brewers Outlet, Reagan Street in Sunbury, the Beverage Supermarket. Once again, the Michigan report out today, what they want to do with them. The fine is $20+ million. Could end up anywhere between $20 and $35 million when it's all said and done. Jim Harbaugh, 10-year show cause, irrelevant. He's never going to coach college football again anyway. Connor Stalions, 8-year show cause, which means, in other words, if somebody attempts to hire him, they actually can, within the 8 years, hire him, but they have to show the NCAA that he is rehabilitated and on the right path and the whole deal. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But it's 8 years for him. Sharon Moore gets a 3-game suspension. So it was 2 that Michigan put out, which they picked their own games. And then he'll get the opening game of 2026 when they play Western Michigan in Germany. Let's see, is there anything else? There's no postseason ban because they said they didn't want to hurt the current players, even though they say that the level of violation did meet the postseason ban with complete ease. And as I said earlier, I said, fine, let them go to postseason this year, and then on December 1st, they can all transfer someplace else. I mean, it's not as if they can't leave and go someplace that goes to the postseason. I mean, really. I mean, we're in a new world now. I didn't understand why that wasn't a possibility and why that wasn't brought up, but that's okay. That's what they decided to do. I think was there one other part to this? Denard Robinson got in trouble. Clinkscale got in trouble. I think that's pretty much it. Stallions took his phone, threw it in a pond. Hard drives into the pond. Sharon Moore said, no, I don't have the messages on my phone because I have storage issues. And finally he admitted that I deleted them. It's just, the whole thing is just... And for every Michigan fan, the whole thing's worth it. It doesn't matter. They won the national title. And look, I wasn't advocating at all that they be stripped of the title, stripped of wins and things like that. I knew they weren't going to do that. They just don't do that stuff anymore. Okay? But, yeah. The King is now here to talk with us.
Hello.
Yes, I was
I
actually...
fall asleep.
I don't blame
How
you.
you doing?
Doing great. I actually brought you up yesterday when I spoke in Altoona to the Blair County Chamber of Commerce. A guy had a Yukon shirt on.
All the kids are coming back this weekend. Yay!
Yeah, suddenly your peace is gone.
Yeah, well, it's fun when they come back, although they drive crazy, but oh well. Just stay away. But it's like State College. You have ways around. You know, you can go around.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we have ways that we can get around now without. It's never been bad. I like it when they come back. So
They'll be
kind of
back.
like the season's changing. Just when you get sick of them, they go home. And
Yeah.
they come back again. So,
Well, yeah, the students come back here next weekend, so we got one more weekend, and then because today is the last day of summer finals, and there's commencement tomorrow.
right. About the same at UConn, but they're all moving in this weekend. So this is a big. I know the guy down the restaurant by us, and they're all excited.
Oh yeah, no, let's make some money.
Some of the restaurants, they're all based around the college. You know.
Let's make some cash.
Anyway, why don't they? If they want to punish Michigan, they didn't punish them at all. Take their championship away.
No, they're not. I knew they wouldn't
They'll
do
think
that.
twice about doing it again if you do that. You know, the other stuff they're just laughing at.
Yeah, because they did strip Louisville in basketball of its national championship in 2013, but they just don't feel inclined to do that. And as I said, when it comes to they don't want to hurt the current players, I agree with that. Okay, but that way, I say
look at their elders getting away with stuff. You know, that's just.
Well, that's why.
What does it teach them? You know.
Well, that's why I would say, okay, no postseason ban this year because I don't want to hurt the current players. But it's
would they have won had they not cheated?
Well, it certainly gave them an advantage, and you can see it. I mean,
right.
I mean, there's certain things that you look at when you are a team that bases what you do on defense and your running game, which they do. It is really, really important to do what? Play with the lead. Michigan played with the lead more often than not, and that's where sign stealing comes into play. Sign stealing is really important in the first quarter of a game. As the game goes, you can pick up certain things. That's fine. You're allowed to do that as the game goes. But in the first quarter, when everything's cold and fresh, right, and you have the advantage of already pretty much knowing, and you're a team that is based on playing with the lead, well, I mean, that should tell you something right there about what they were able to do because they fit with how they play.
Did they admit to wrongdoing?
Eventually, Harbaugh didn't. Harbaugh was a stone-cold no. I did nothing wrong. Moore finally admitted that that after the current head coach, that after saying over and over again that he didn't have the text messages from Stallions because of storage issues in his phone, he finally admitted he deleted them. Stallions, I guess, was very contrite. He admitted to being on the sideline for the Central Michigan State game where somebody took a picture of him, and everybody kept denying it was him over and over again. And Stallions, I guess, said that the phone and the hard drives were at the bottom of the pond. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in here where you just sit back and go, I mean, I don't even know if you make a movie out of this because some of it's just not believable.
Yeah, and the key character's gone. So,
and like giving him a 10-year show cause means nothing because he's like.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They didn't do anything to him.
I mean, Pete Carroll
won a national championship. I mean, they were legitimately good. So
I mean, they're really good. Yes, they were, and that's what's bothersome about this. because they were good enough on their own to win it.
Yeah.
I mean, without the shenanigans, and I'll give you an example of how good they were that year, and it's on the defensive side of it. It's one thing to know what a team might do and be in position to do it and so forth, but I believe they only had single digits. This is amazing. They only had single digits the entire season of missed tackles. Now,
wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, and you got to give them so much credit for that. I mean, so much credit.
Nothing to do with
right? Yeah, exactly right.
Football.
That's just good football, good execution, the whole thing, and that and there's a lot of things about that team you can talk about. The offensive line was really good and so forth, and they didn't need to do any of this, but they were.
How do you think J.J. McCarthy's going to do this year?
Okay. He's not going to have Addison the first month of the season, so that hurts.
Right.
He's got a really good tight end in Hawkinson. Jefferson is a special talent at the other wide receiver spot. His running game should be adequate. I think that I can see him maybe being in the NFL a 65% passer. And I think he will end up being maybe a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception guy, and it'll be a starting point for him. Do I think he'll be a great NFL quarterback? No, but I think he'll be very good.
I was listening to a show this morning. I won't name them. I don't know what your rules are.
I could care less.
Huh?
I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Unsportsmanlike on ESPN.
Yeah, sure.
I like it. That's a really good show. It was Chris Canty. He was talking, and they were ranking last year's quarterbacks this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they ranked I always forget his name, the quarterback for Chicago, 6th.
Caleb Williams.
Say it again?
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Caleb Williams, 6th. And they had the Michigan kid, Minnesota's quarterback, like 3rd or 4th, without him ever playing. I thought that was curious.
Where did they have Jalen Hurts?
No, second-year quarterback.
Oh, second-year quarterbacks. Okay,
yeah,
second-year quarterbacks.
You know, with what's his name from Denver?
Nix. Yep. Bo
I
Nix.
love him. He's a great quarterback.
Yep.
You know, the kid for Washington, they had
Daniels.
him number 1.
Yep.
But they had Caleb Williams 6th, and that really bothered Chicago fans big time.
Well, see, you want to know what the biggest difference between McCarthy and Williams is?
What's that?
Williams has made mistakes in games, and McCarthy hasn't made any because he hasn't played. And it's like that's what makes it so absurd. There's no body of work.
They're saying that Caleb Williams is having a very, very, very difficult time picking up offensive reads or defensive reads, however you want to define it. In other words, picking up the rush and which side it's going to come from and what's the weak side, what's the strong side. And he's taking sacks that he should never take that are actually his fault. And they're really struggling with him, and that sometimes can't be taught. He doesn't have a feel for that, you know. I almost feel like that's the part of the NFL that changes from college to the NFL. It's the speed, you know, that defensive end is faster than anybody you've ever seen run. You know, he's coming to kill you, and he's coming from the right, and you didn't even look at him. You didn't even know he was coming. And that's what they were saying today, that his athletic ability is second to none.
Yeah.
That deal of not being able to pick up his reads is a big problem. So, but to put J.J. McCarthy ahead of him when he hasn't played it down, it's just,
it's like that's
kind of a boot in the rear end. I mean, I would.
That's why these lists are ridiculous. They promote conversation, which is what they're trying to do, and they're just trying to fill time with it. And that's all it is. It's just program filler. It doesn't tell you anything about football, the game, or anything like that.
Well, dopes like us, like Todd and me, we're playing fantasy football. We listen to all this crap because we're trying to pick our teams, you know.
Well, have you picked your team yet?
No. I may let the computer pick mine.
Hey, Todd?
I would love to have the exact same team I had last year.
Yeah.
But in order for me to do it, I have to come down here because you need a computer to do it, and I don't have one at home.
Yeah.
And they started making fun of me for that. I'm like, what do I need a computer at home for? You know? So I may come down here that night and pick my team. I want the exact same team.
Yeah.
I'll take Jalen Hurts any day because you got the tush push. So he gets all these touchdowns and doesn't have to run very far to do it. So,
hey, Todd.
I would love to have Saquon, but I doubt I'm picking 7th in our league. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if I take the quarterback first or go for the best athlete first, but I mean, I had Chase and Jefferson for my wide receivers.
No, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Chase put up some 50-point nights. So.
Yeah. Well, Todd, have you picked a fantasy team yet?
No, we usually wait till about 2 days before the season because it's the one that I draft year to year is with work guys. So we just usually, do it when we're supposed to be working.
And once again, admissions on the air that we probably shouldn't make.
The paper still gets out on time.
I assume they, yeah.
So who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Well, I would think I would think the team going into the season that's got the best chance to do it is Philadelphia. I think they've had a drama-free camp and they have almost every key player back.
The curious thing is and that's the NFC, and you really can't. They're saying Tampa's deep this year, but the AFC, it's the same cast of characters. I mean, you got Buffalo. They could absolutely make a run. You got the Ravens. They could make a run. Mm-hmm. Kansas City, they can make a run. And my outside team, and you guys are going to laugh, I think Pittsburgh's going to be really good this year. So.
Well, they could very well be. I don't. When I look at Pittsburgh, I mean, a lot of people can criticize the Aaron Rodgers thing all they want, but all I know is that he's walked in and stabilized them. How about that? He's at least stabilized them.
Hey, he doesn't get credit, and I've said this a couple weeks ago. Nobody recovers in 1 year from an Achilles injury.
No, it takes 2.
Like he had. Yep. And he was on the field again, which meant he worked incredibly hard to get back.
Yep.
And he made it back. He didn't have a great year, but at the same time, it wasn't his fault the Jets didn't win. I think this year he's healthier, and he's got a good cast of characters. He's got a good head coach. I mean, the Jets were a mess. No one's going to fire Pittsburgh's coach halfway through the year.
Yeah.
This isn't going to happen. It's a stable organization, and he's married. So his home life has changed. I would put my money on Aaron Rodgers to do well. He's not going to win the MVP, but this is going to be his last hurrah. I am curious to see what he can do.
Well, a week from tonight is the first high school football game in Pennsylvania. When's the last time you went to a high school football game?
Me?
Yeah.
Last year.
Oh, you went? Okay, where'd you go? Who'd you see?
My grandson was a linebacker for Rockville High School.
Oh, there you go.
We walked him out on senior night.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I've been to a lot of them because his sister was captain of the cheerleaders for 3 years before him. So I've been going to the high school football for quite a while.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he graduated, so I won't be going for a while.
Right. No, I just,
Why?
No, I'm just asking because high school football starts a week from tonight. So
yeah, it's fun. Most of the kids have synthetic fields now because of the pandemic. They use the pandemic money to put in synthetic fields. So, whatever.
I mean, Todd, most of them around us are like that too, right?
That's wild. That's probably 10 years around here now. The only place that doesn't have it is Mifflinburg, and they're looking for it, but it's hard because they're right in the middle of town. Mifflinburg and Lime Mountain don't have turf yet, but everybody else around here does.
Yeah, same around here. South Windsor does not have it. Just got voted down.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I walked we've been in Beaver Stadium, 3 or 4 times in the past month. And I'm walking across that field the other night, and if it's possible for anybody to do it, that field is unbelievable, and it's just so much better for players to play on. It's cut, it's cut in such a way where it's a fast turf. I don't know. I walk across that, and I don't know. I realize that maybe synthetic turf saves you some money. But, geez, just buy a mower and some grass seed. You should be all right.
I know. That cracks me up. Saves them some money. It's $1 billion industry. You can't cut the lawn. It's like, come on. You can't. Are there any grass fields left in the NFL?
Oh, yeah. Half the league's grass.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Philadelphia is. Green Bay is. Chicago is. Let's see. Arizona is, the Raiders are, the Dolphins are. Denver is. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. San Francisco is, So, yeah, I think half the league is grass and half the league is synthetic turf, and the Players Association wants it to all be grass if it's possible. I mean, they've put that out.
Healthier form. I got the Ravens-Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah. That would be an entertaining game. That would be an entertaining game. I think the Ravens are really good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Ravens are always one play away. I mean, last year the tight end dropped the ball. They're that close. I mean, they've got all the talent, and they're well coached. I would love to see Josh
Allen
get a Super Bowl. What a good guy he is.
Seems like it. All right. Well, have a great weekend.
Okay. This was fun. So,
sounds good. All right.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, believe me, I look forward to it every week.
Okay. All right. Bye. Bye, Tom.
See ya.
Yep.
And another week comes to a close. Todd, it was an eventful week.
It was. Hey, my day today was easy.
Imagine living the Suits life. Every day feels like Saturday.